were on the front line. So by 2018, the Taliban have grown into a force to be reckoned with. They have presence in large parts of the country, and the loss of daily life is creating the sense of hopelessness and despair, and the war is a bloody stalemate. And the U.S. comes to a realization that despite growing an Afghan security force, despite supporting them with airstrikes, it can't really defeat the Taliban militarily. The Taliban are just stubborn. So the U.S. decides to open direct talks with the Taliban in Doha. And that's an opening for me to travel to Doha and to start meeting some of these shadowy figures that have been impossible for us to access for so long, to get a sense of how they feel about this conflict. The Taliban leaders who were sitting in Doha, who were negotiating a peace deal, were actually elderly graybeards who had been out of the battlefield for 20 years or so. But the main leverage they have is the fighting force on the ground. The evolution of that force made it clearly important to me that I need to meet face to face with this younger generation of Taliban fighters and understand the fighters and the views and the expectations of the fighter, who are the real muscle. At the end of the day, it is the fighters on the ground that matter in terms of whether this war ends peacefully or whether this country breaks into another civil war.
So how do you actually go about meeting these fighters?
So in February, the U.S. and the Taliban finally signed their deal. And that began the American troop withdrawal, and it mostly stopped the American airstrikes. And the Taliban reduced its attacks to open direct negotiations with the Afghan government over a power sharing, over a future government. And that was an opportunity for me to convince one of the Taliban commanders in the east to take us in and let us spend some time with his fighters. So this photographer Jim Hollybrook and I and our reporter in the east, Raviola, we get in a car and we drive to Laghman province where we're meeting these fighters. There's the last checkpost right before a bridge where we cross into a Taliban area. We're met in the middle of a road by their red unit, which is their most elite force.
Flags are coming.
And they arrive on the back of motorcycles, their faces are covered, they're all young fighters. And they stop us in the middle of the road, we know they've come to welcome us, and then we get out of the car to say hello, and I'm nervous, I'm super nervous. It's one thing to sit down in a posh hotel across from the gray-bearded political leaders. It's something else to sit down with their killers, with the most ruthless of their fighters. And they lead us to their commander that we're meeting, this guy named Molly Qais. And we sit under this shade of a mulberry tree for what is a really friendly, normal conversation.
And what does he tell you? What did you learn from him?
I asked this commander and I said, well, the Americans are leaving. You've justified your violence by saying we're fighting the foreign invaders. How do you justify killing fellow Afghan fighters who pray to the same God, who read the same Quran?
He was
an eloquent man, and he said, let me tell you clearly, our fight is not against the flesh and bones of the foreigners or the flesh and bones of the Afghans. He said, our fight is about the system. And he said, yes, the Americans might be leaving, but how can we stop fighting if those in government are insisting on keeping the same corrupt government? They see their fight as restoring their Islamic way of government.
These fighters on the ground want to resume the life of your childhood. That level of severe Taliban government.
Exactly. They want a strict interpretation of Taliban government that they were too young to have experience. They weren't old enough to have memories of what that government based on a rigid interpretation of Islam looked like. They didn't know that the Taliban government in the 90s, it was poverty and starvation, and people felt suffocated. So the disconnect here was that the younger fighters are excited about a victory to form a kind of government that in their mind hasn't been tried before, but in fact
This is why I got this camera. Look at that. There we go. I'm still working with what this image stabilization is. I would love to full-time shoot handheld and get results kind of like a dolly is what I'd really like to be able to do. Be right back. Hey folks, now I know I've already blessed you a good evening. It's just too pretty here. I have to keep shooting it. Oh, that's the shutter I'm adjusting. It's gonna get real psychedelic. Look at this. It's like Enter Sandman. Into night. Let's go to what you should shoot film at. Come on. But with that, see, I thought I was adjusting the f-stop. So, you gotta learn how to hit these buttons correctly. Oh, there we go. It's a different type of camera than I'm used to. There we go. Look at this. Just look at it, folks. Here, I'm gonna put my hand on some books and shoot into that. There. That streak you see in the top third there, between the light and the dark cloud, and how it kind of looks like it's almost a digital effect or something. That's what is there. That oh well, autofocus doesn't know how to handle beauty. We'll teach it. We'll teach her. Let me turn autofocus off so I can get in there. That line, it looks just like that to my naked eye. This thing. Look at that. That's how this looks in real life. This camera does a wonderful job rendering what's up here. Wow. You know, I'm also going through this darkened piece of glass, and I feel like it might actually be helping me with the latitude of this. Maybe not. It's hard to say, and it's too cold for me to get out. Wow, look at it. I'm also working on my breathing as I shoot now. Notice I can hear myself breathing. It's very erratic. But I notice when I slow down my breath, the shot becomes smoother. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Just slow your breath. Gotta get that little, you want to have that smooth start. Y'all have a blessed night. I have interesting blocks around picking up a camera and just creating something. I just had the thought, I saw this happening. And I had the thought, oh, you already shot. You don't want to bore anyone. You got enough of that. But look at it, it's completely different. I didn't get this at all. And I think this block comes from not understanding there was an avenue for this footage to be seen. My idea of filmmaking was making movies. And it still is. But for someone that called themselves a filmmaker their whole life, I haven't been practicing much. I did make my living as a cameraman, and I still do, when there's work in these times. But using this to make money has also trained me, you don't need that. You're not going to put that into the edit. Just get it done, get the work done, get it done. And, man, it just makes you so cynical and lazy. I just knocked over my little stand of books that I'm leaning my hand against. Uh-oh. My lens cap fell up in this rowdy crowd. Okay, sorry about that, folks. Back to the task at hand. We're going to try for a nice, slow zoom in. This is all shot from the passenger seat of a van. The rear passenger seat of a van. Not too shabby. Oh shit, it's my agent. I gotta get this. Oh, wow, it just keeps getting better. Do you mind if we go in one more time, folks? Just not being very smooth here. Oh, here we go. Look at that. The only thing that prevented me from doing that better is that my back started killing me in this weird position I'm in. Man. Can you believe this place? Look at this place. Oh, that's interesting. Might have been shooting through this the whole time. That's really pretty. This is the frame for the window of the van. But if you kind of put it out of focus and at the bottom of the frame, it kind of becomes a little vignette or a mask. That's a really... You know these things, but I think if you're more aware of them, you might be able to use them more. Look at what's going on over there, folks. Holy fuck. I mean, come on. Hang on, here it comes. I'm sure you're thinking the same. Yeah, come on. Wait, where am I? There we go. This is what I wanted. My God. This is one of the most powerful creative tools I've ever had. Look at that. Wow. This place is like a painting. It's like living inside of a painting being here. Oh, it is all this place. Literally all I'm doing is zooming in and out. It's just this place is this unbelievable. It looks like some being with his head on fire. So full of mental energy, his head is on fire. Look at him. It's like looking at a god or something. I wonder why primitive people had religion. That's all it is, folks. Y'all have a blessed night. Okay. I just thought I was recording and I wasn't. So back to what I was saying. I was just looking at this place, just here in the van, and God, it just made me cry. It's so beautiful. This is, we gotta enjoy this while it's still here. I know that looks like fires off in the distance, but that's, the line of cloud on the sunset. Look at that. This isn't great footage. I'm a little overwhelmed by this. Oh, there, look at that. That was just something that I accidentally fell on. It had nothing to do with creating that image. I just pointed my camera over at that thing. Look at the story that was inside that cloud. Making your bed in a van is a real bitch. It's night one. And, what a motherfucker. This is... Oh, my pants are falling. My pants are falling down. Okay. Enough of this nonsense. You don't need to see any more of that. This is too much. Oh, my God. Oh. Wow. Now, I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. But hear me out. I'll tell you what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, yeah, this is a pain in the ass to do every night and then every morning. This will be a pain in the ass. But by doing it this way, I eliminate untold hordes of other pains in the ass. So, okay, my butt's showing again. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Enough of that. I am not used to being on camera, folks. I've watched some footage of myself, and I'm very shifty-eyed and quirky, really presentational, and I don't know if I'm that way in real life or not. I'm was a kid that watched too much TV. Man, oh man, it'll just rot you out. Oh, I'm excited to sleep in this van. I really am. I think it's gonna be great. It's really comfortable. This is awesome. Oh. Yeah, this is not too shabby. Though I gotta say, I gotta get this sleeping bag cleaned. Starting out and it's already dirty. How about that? See, I'm not gonna use this like a sleeping bag. Partially, and I've got this electric blanket. Oh yeah. Oh no. Oh, I spilled something, but I didn't. Wow, this is kind of nuts. Like I said, I'm just trying to see how little my life requires. What is the impact of my life? In every way you can imagine, that will be answered on this show, I'm sure. Oh my. God. What a strange people we become. You gotta see what I'm looking at. I look like I'm trying to join a carnival. And I might be. We're trying to start one. It's not a dream. Look at this. Oh, there we go. Look at this. And if my eyes are shifty, know that it's because I'm used to looking at a monitor and not act to it. And look at this. It's a drum. Back out. Look at that. This looks like something out of Carnival. This is kind of a crazy little life right here. Huh. We will see if I have it in me. It's I have my doubts. But I also have my hopes. So wow, it's weird looking at yourself and trying to film yourself. I'll get better at this, or I won't, and we'll just keep... This is a little bit better, because you can, like... At least it's not here. Different camera. Yeah, look at this. This is a fucking interesting direction. Okay. Y'all have a blessed evening.